how I maximized my December earnings with the Amazon Influencer Program. First things first, it was just being consistent over the whole year, and that's the honest truth. But I want to go in here and talk a little bit more about the data and the information that I've gotten over the whole year and how I'm going to keep on growing my Amazon on-site videos commissions. So let's get into the content. Now, if you don't know what the Amazon Video Influencer is, or the Amazon Influencer Program is, I would recommend you go over here, check it out, sign up. When I went and signed up, I got approved automatically, and then I literally started getting to work on all the orders that I've ordered on Amazon. I order a lot of products on Amazon, so it makes sense for me just to start getting to work, right? So it took me about, within that first month, I was already making $50. Like, I was already on track making like $10 a day, $50, on track to do 100. And then that second month, then I started making, $100, $200 a month consistently. Then the next goal was obviously to get to $1,000 a month. So that's how I usually do stuff. When I'm jumping into new businesses or business ideas, I'm always trying to figure out, a good workflow and how I can stay consistent. When I'm staying consistent, am I getting the results that I want? Always do that. And if you've been following me over the years, you know that when it comes to any of this, workflow is a very, very important thing for me as far as growing my business. And basically what I'm doing, right, is coming over here on Amazon.com. Any of the products that you see, so for example, this is a product page right here. It's a grill basket, right? And what it is you're leaving a review and showing the actual product when you get it. And this right here, so for example, you'll be right here in this little part right here, you'll see this. This is actually the grill basket. You can see like this individual is probably going over the whole product, showing the customer like what it looks like and how to use it, which is really cool. Once you watch like a certain amount of it, the customer makes the purchase, you get a commission from that, you get a kickback from that. But I want you to think about it at scale. So what happens when you have 100, 200, 300, 400 videos doing that and they're live up on Amazon? The next thing you know, you start to make $3 a day, $4 a day, $5 a day, $10 a day. It starts to, starts to add up. And then, once you're making $100 a day, you're making like $3,000 a month, which is really, really cool. So that's what it is. You're ordering the product or getting the product, right? And then if the product, you actually have the physical product, and then you do the review video, and then you put that video live up on Amazon, and Amazon shows it to the customers. And then once the customer sees it, they purchase, they make the purchase. You influence the customer to make the purchase, and then once that happens, Amazon gives you a kickback and gives you a commission off of that product. And then you can see there are a few other people leaving reviews on this actual product too. All right, now, so as far as like Q4 went, it went pretty well for the first time with this Amazon Influencer Program, right, with the videos. And back in October, they started doing some little weird stuff where they were messing with the placement of the videos. A lot of my videos, like my top selling product, the curse, like it was missing off the product page. It just wasn't there. They took out the lower carousels, right? And that was like, I was like, wait, it's crazy because I have products in the actual photo carousel, like on the very top of the page of Amazon, all right, and then I have videos on the lower part of the product page that make sales, and they're #1 sellers. But just Amazon is messing with the video placement right now. Over the years of me selling on Amazon for over 10 years now, they always seem to mess with the placements of like videos or placements of the products, anything like that, because they're always testing the algorithm. They want to see like how this is working or how that's working, and I think this is just normal, right? It's part of the process. But as far as, the results I got for October was like, should have done more. They ended up finishing with $992.43. I won't show that part of the screen because they're very strict on what you show. So I'm just trying to follow the rules. But that's how much I made for the month of October, which is pretty good still, right? Knowing that like I'm not touching any products, and this is like more of like that print on demand, video on demand type of idea for me. And then towards the end of the month, it started coming back. I could tell because the reason being is just like I was paying attention to, the actual sales, the sales velocity coming in, and then the clicks and all that stuff was started to ramp up even more, and everything seemed to be coming back to normal. Now, my goal with this actual business is to be consistent throughout the whole year. And now Q4 obviously is one of the most busiest months, but I'm leveraging everything that, as far as these payouts, and then I'm leveraging the payouts and then reinvesting
a good amount of it back into it too, so I can actually continuously review more products, right, and make more videos. And also reinvesting into my other businesses by, finding products that I need, that I know that, these products are gonna sell really well on Amazon with the video influencer, and kind of just, it goes hand in hand, right? So I'm seeing how, one product can obviously make sales within that first week. If I have a product, I get it and I review it and it makes a sale within that first week, that's a winner for me personally. So now we continue over into November. There are some really good days this month, right? And this is a really good month for me. I did a total of $2,519.78. The clicks were, and then the sales for some of these days, some of my best days ever, being on the actual platform. Right? And it's crazy because certain things like this, once you start to see results like this, I'm like, yes, it's working. This is exactly what I want. There was, some of my top sellers over here were performing at a high rate and getting sales, right? Which is really, really cool. Everything was on point. Everything started to come back this month. And I was happy because I was like, all right, cool. Like November seems to be a really good month. I should be going into December with the same kind of results. I'm assuming around the same time, because we all know that when it gets closer to Christmas, right, sales start to drop. As far as, people are getting last minute Christmas gifts, they're going into actual store instead of shopping online, because for the most part, Amazon with their shipping times, they're trying to get it to the customer on time, but for the most part, it may arrive after Christmas. Usually when the customers see on a product listing, if it says arriving after Christmas, they will most likely not make that purchase. Sometimes they will, say, hey, your Christmas gift is coming late this year. So, but yeah, November was a really, really awesome month, which is really, really cool. Now we go into December. December, I did a total of $2,215.66. That's really cool. Like at that point, I looked at November, I was like, cool, this is a really good month. I feel like December is gonna be crushing it at the very beginning, but then it's gonna slow down. I was doing over $2,000 for the month. I was like, if it hits over $2,000 for this month, I am happy. Same thing here. Some of these months where I had better days inside of November, like, you know what I mean? I have better days where some of the days were pushing over $200 for that day. As far as the days, are looking more consistent over here. But when it got closer and closer to Christmas, like I said, there was a big decrease, a downfall. So like on Christmas, it was 0. But a lot of the products that I've, that are my top sellers were selling, like they were cranking. And then a lot of the products that I did new videos on, they started making sales. Now, even for January, as of this month, I'm actually getting new products in, and I'm doing reviews, and they're making sales. This is something that me personally, when it comes to research and I'm getting it down, if I can get a product, review it within that first day of receiving it, sometimes because the area I live in, sometimes I'll receive products within 6 hours. Sometimes I'll receive products the next day. Sometimes I'll receive the products in like 2 or 3 days, because depending on where it's being shipped from, right? But when I get that product, I'm getting it, reviewing it, putting it up on Amazon, and I'm trying to make sales right away. And which is really cool, because what I'm doing is just like a show and tell, showing the customer, this is what I got, this is what it looks like, this is what I'm gonna be using it for, and stuff like that. Just try to give them an insight and idea of the actual product. And then going into this new year, I'm expecting a lot of my numbers to be consistent, because I'm reviewing products that are not like trending, they're like more like evergreen type products. So they sell all year round, right? And I think depending on certain products, like summertime, they may pick up a little bit more, or during the wintertime, they may pick up a little bit more. It all depends, right? Because certain products, they do trend during certain times of the year, so you want to keep that in mind. That's the normal. That's the normal. One thing I wanted to touch on is how I do my research, to kind of give you guys an insight of how you can obviously boost your numbers up to where you want them to be. Now, first things first is like consistency. I want you to understand that if you're being consistent with doing video reviews, and this may be even starting off with 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week, 5 videos a week, and then you get what I'm like 2 videos a week, and then next week 2 videos a week, next week 2 videos a week, and then you get that payout from Amazon, then you increase it. All right, this week I'm doing 3 or 4 videos a week. And then you get that another big payout. You're doing, all right, now I'm doing 5, 6 videos a week. You see where I'm going at, and the next thing you know it, you're doing 50, 60 to 100 videos a week. But it all depends. Like you work your way up to it, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself with certain things. I know some people are like, if I feel tired and I don't feel like doing anything and don't do any reviews, I don't want to do any reviews, I'll take a break. Take 2 or 3 days off, right? Or I won't review no products this week. It's all up to you. It all depends like what you want to do and how you want your workflow to be. But at the end of the day, the goal is to increase your numbers, be consistent, and keep growing. Remember, You'll have people and brands reach out to you about, certain sponsorships and like that too as well. Some of these sponsorships, like, I'll average like $500-600 a month extra on top of this, right? And that could be, that can push you over the limit where like, cool, I'm getting paid, I'm getting these free products, stuff like that. You can do that too as well. Some people, they'll reach out to me like, hey, can you do a review video, or can you post this on your personal social media? Here's a t-shirt, can you do this? Or here is a battery, can you do this? I'm like, yeah, of course. All this stuff adds up. And then next thing you know, you're making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. And then obviously Amazon, they even throw bonuses out there to you. Yeah, this is crazy because some of the bonuses are pretty big too as well, and that adds on top of everything that you're doing. So let me show you the research process and how I do my research. That way it gives you a better understanding of how you can find a winning product. Now, the research tool that I use to help me find top winning products is called Fluencer Fruit. This tool is freaking amazing, right? I find some really hot items that I'm telling you that will sell within the first week. And I'm not making this up, right? Because this right here, this tool, just makes all the difference in your business. It helps you do research. Research is important. Research is, with any business that I personally do, is the first thing that I do, and I enjoy it. I love it. And let me show you an example of how you're gonna use this tool, help you find winning products that are gonna make you money. Now, think about it this way. You find 5 winning products. First you find your first, and then it starts to consistently sell. Then you find 5 more products, 4 more products, and you have a total of 5 winning products. Then those start selling consistently. And then as you keep going, now you're making $10 a day because of those 5 winning products. And then you find 5 more, now you have 10. Then you go from, $10 a month to 20. And then you got 20 winning products. Then you go, $20 a month to 30, 40. This is the way, I would personally do it, but obviously easing your way into it and understanding the whole process, and then just start getting to work and just crush it. This right here can make all the difference if you do really good research. You can get there faster to your goals if you do good research. For example, right now it's cold outside. I just typed in wall heaters. I was just thinking about wall heaters. Now, we typed in wall heaters into the search bar. Now, keep in mind too, another thing, think about different keywords that you're gonna type in to the search bar, because that can make all the difference. Like if there's a certain type of heater that you personally know, by all means, type that into there and just start getting to work. Start using the search bar to be your best friend to find winning products. Now, if I come over here to this little banana icon, right? This is Fluencer Fruit. If I hit that, this is the cool thing about this. It's gonna basically always filter it by the score. I'm looking for anything. Look at all this. There's a 100 score right here. This is a gold mine. I look for anything above 70 score. Sometimes I'll go a little bit lower, like 66, 65, and maybe even 60, but it all depends. When I come in here, I'm looking at these prices, right? But also I'm looking for reviews and sales velocity. I'm looking for consistency because I want this product to sell every day for me. If a product sells every day for me, we're winning. This product's gonna pay for itself within the first month for sure. But let's say if it's a really good product, it can probably sell, it probably make its money back within that first 2 weeks, right? And that's what we want. We want that right there, because after it makes its money back within the 2 weeks, it starts to get into the profit. Once it starts making profit, it starts to pay, right? And then helps you reinvest into more products, right? If I come over here, check this out. If I'm looking at the review count, right, next, and as I'm going down, look at this, 138, we're looking at a price of 172. But we can get in a little deeper. 467, 343.99. I'm thinking about as an individual with the first product, and they're a little bit pricier, right? But now look at this right here. Here we go. So 2,000 reviews, right? 4.5, and that's the next thing I look at too. I'm kind of looking at this. I want to make sure that there's not a ton of bad reviews. Right, 4.5, that's good. That's good. That's pretty fair right there. Then it gives you the breakdown affiliate commission, you know what I mean? Influencer commission, so 90 cents, $1, $1.20, and then $30. That's not a bad price. Now think about it this way. If you're gonna be using this heater, right? You're gonna be using the heater, right? So we hit that. You can possibly be using this heater too as well. So you're not only gonna be, this is not an investment, right? For you to obviously make sales on Amazon, but also you're personally going to be using it. So it's like a win-win situation. Now you're getting paid to use the actual product. I'm like, you know what I mean? You think about it that way, it makes so much sense. Think about how you're going to research products that you're personally going to use, right? And it may take a little bit more time, but at the end of the day, you're using this product in real life too. You're not just going to order it, review it, and then have it sitting around, okay? When you know your first few products, anything that you're probably going to reinvest to or upgrade or anything like that, do that by doing this type of research, and then it just makes sense, and then you're using it every day, and then you're getting paid to use it every day. Kind of ease the mind a bit. Or even if you're just ordering it to review it, to give it to a gift for someone, right? So if you're, you have a birthday coming up or someone special in your life, you can order their gift on here, leave the review, open the box, take the plastic off, redo the review, put it back in, fold it up, and boom, or put the back in the packaging, and it still looks brand new. So yeah, that's something like that I would do. Now we got over 250 ratings. This is a good product. The score, we got an 88 score. Influencer videos, there's none. This is an open market for you to do a review on, right? If I click on here, there's no videos, just you, and it kind of just, there's the brand video. It'll just be you up here, and you'll be getting all the commissions. And it's a plug into the wall, right? Look at that. It kind of just shows you right there. It kind of gives you an idea, inspiration to actually how would you create this video. Pretty self-explanatory, right? And if you don't know what to talk about during the video, obviously you can watch that, but also too, here's a description about the whole product. You can just go over everything, measurements, everything, the plug-in, how you're plugging it in, right? How it feels, like heat against the wall, stuff like that. I think it's really, really powerful. Leverage this to help you get to your first $10 a day, 20, 30, 40. Because once you get to 10, once you get to 20, there's no reason why you can't get to $100 a day, right? And this tool right here, Fluencer Fruit, has helped me out a lot. And if you want to learn how I do more research, check out this video right here, and you can see how I do research. I dive into more depth about how I do research. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up, and thank you very much for watching.